Welcome to Mini Stories, where we'll be listening to Reddit stories. Story 1. Am I the asshole for not backing up for my family after my wife giggled at their news? I, 27 male, have a beautiful wife, Amara, 26 female. Anyway, on to the situation that happened a week ago. When I was 17, I had a girlfriend who cheated on me for my brother. We were together since kindergarten. Even though our relationship was fake in elementary school and middle school, we decided to make it official in high school. But after a year of making it official, my brother tells me that she and him were seeing each other behind my back. I was extremely hurt, especially since my parents knew, but they thought the relationship was still a playful one even though I told them the news first. After that, I decided to just focus on school and move out of my parents' house, especially since they didn't have the decency to at least be romantically involved in private. She still tried to apologize and ask if we could be friends, but I just ignored her. After I graduated, I moved to Texas at age 19 and only contacted my family on holidays. After 2 years of being there, I met Amara at a bakery her mother owned, and we became friends first due to us both having trust issues, but we made it official a year after meeting. The relationship was great. I loved her family and they loved me. The wedding was absolutely wonderful, even though my parents and brother didn't come, even though I sent an invitation and called them the day before, and I realized that if my wife were ever in an argument with someone, even if she was wrong, I'd always have her back. Now, a week ago, my mother called me to ask if we could talk. She was on speaker since Amara and I were cooking. She knows about what my family has done and how they backed up my brother, so I didn't mind putting the phone on speaker since the only conversations I have with my family is about my brother. Well, my mom goes on to tell me how my brother and ex are getting married and he wants me to be his best man. It was silent for a bit and Amara burst out with giggles and I joined in after her. My mom hung up and I didn't bother calling her back and enjoyed my night with my wife. The next morning, I was bombarded with angry text from my brother and dad on how I hurt my mother's feeling and made her cry by not telling my wife to not laugh. I don't think I did anything wrong. I technically didn't do anything, but I can somewhat say that it was childish, but it was a spur of the moment. So am I the asshole for not backing up my mom? Update 1 to 1 week later. Hi everyone. I am here to let everyone know what happened the week after the initial situation. After the week of the incident and many rude texts from my brother and father, I decided to contact my brother and told him how it was unfair to not come to my wedding but then asked me to come to his. Well, some of you were spot on. My brother didn't want to come to my wedding, so my mother made up a lie instead of telling the truth. And he never asked for me to be his best man, nor was I even invited. I called my mother and asked her what the hell was going on, and she told me that she just wanted her sons to get along again. Even if I were to accept the now fake offer, the situation would have gone way worse since I wasn't invited. I've decided for the sake of my wife and I's future, I will be limiting contact with my side of the family. I've also mentioned in the comments that my wife is pregnant, so I have that to look forward to instead of a shit show. Amara and I also appreciate the kind words from some of you. Update 2. The next day. Think I posted the first update last night or yesterday, I don't remember, but hello again. The situation has now spread from just my wife and I to my wife's side of the family. A friend of my ex found the post and I guess the news spread like wildfire, and I was now getting texts from my immediate family and my ex and brother's friends. I've ignored it at first until some really hurtful things was said about my wife regarding her family and pregnancy, which caused my wife to have a panic attack since she couldn't calm down. I don't know if I could say what they said since it was very harsh and racist. I've now gone from limited texts to ignoring my whole family. I've decided to turn my phone off altogether, but I do appreciate every one of you, but I'm going to take this time to spend it with my wife and her family. We are now focusing on the pregnancy and getting things ready for 9 months of fun and weird cravings. Update 321 days later. Hello. Exactly 21 days ago I've made a decision that has been the best decision of my life. I'm just giving a small update. 1. My family is no longer in my life. 2. My wife read the post and comments and she loves all of you but was upset that I said she giggled. She wanted me to clear it up and let you all know it was a full cackle. 3. Our little baby is growing and healthy, hoping for a girl. But that's all. Once again, thank you all. We love you. Story 2. Had a stroke in the Bahamas and woke to $55,000 in charges on my Bank of America credit card from hospital. However, I never gave them my credit card. This should be fun, so strap in. I was in Nassau's Bahamas and suffered a stroke unexpectedly. I am young, low 30s, and an overall pretty active and healthy, so a stroke was the last thing that I would expect it to happen at this time in my life. So when the stroke hit, the left side of my body went limp. I wasn't able to talk, walk, or function. It is similar to being paralyzed and all around sucks. The hotel thankfully called an ambulance which brought me to a hospital. Here's where the fun begins. My girlfriend, let's call her T, went to give them my health insurance card when I was admitted, which covers me internationally, but the hospital refused my insurance and said that I don't have coverage and insisted on cash payment or they would not treat me. When you are having a stroke, minutes count, so she gave them whatever they wanted to treat me. This is when T gave them my credit card. Important note: T is not an authorized cardholder on my credit card account. She does not have her own card, nor is she an authorized signer or user on my account. She simply went into my wallet while I was unconscious and gave it to them, so I was not able to step in and deal with the situation. I woke up hours later to T crying by my bedside. She was explaining to me the situation. Even though I was conscious, I was not able to process nor have the energy to respond. She was explaining that they would chase her down the hallway for $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 at a time, whatever they could, as if buying a used car. It was surreal and makes me so mad, but she did not have any other options at the time. She notified my parents, who showed up a day later. My father was raising hell about them not taking my insurance when he arrived, but it was not the time to argue and made arrangements to get me back to the States. T is not an authorized user on my credit card account, but she was doing what she thought was best for me while trying not to die. I think anyone else would have done the same. Long story short, I was transported via air ambulance back to the States, Pompano Beach, Florida, where my health insurance took over, and now that the dust has settled, I have $55,000 in charges on my credit card from said hospital in the Bahamas. I have spoken to my insurance company and they said the hospital should have taken the insurance when I was admitted, but the hospital prefers cash because insurance companies will pay discounted rates, whereas cash out of pocket is subject to whatever the hospital charges. So the rub is the insurance company will not reimburse me for the full amount, as that is not what they would have paid the hospital directly, since T is not an authorized user and she signed all the credit card receipts. I already attempted to charge back the charges, but the credit card company has rejected this as a claim, stating I have benefited from the services at the hospital and it is not considered fraud. I'm not trying to stiff the hospital on their bill, rather I want my money back and have my health insurance company pay them what they should have been paid. My blood boils that they chased a grieving, emotional girl for money, knowing what they were doing. They took complete advantage of the situation. Does anyone out there have any advice or work for Bank of America disputes department that can help guide me anyway, or should I bother contacting a lawyer in the Bahamas? I assume I have to deal with an attorney over there, not here, correct? If so, a contact or advice on how to find one over there would be great. Complete side note on where I'm at today. I am in rehab full-time and started walking a few weeks ago for the first time since the stroke. It's not a pretty walk but gets me around. My left arm is still flaccid but starting to move, so I'm encouraged, and the doctors think about 6 to 12 months to get full movement back. They say being young is when the advantages in rehab, I guess. Silver lining? Still sucks though, lol. I typed this post using voice dictation software. Apologies for any typos or grammatical errors or formatting. I sucked with grammar before the stroke. Update 1. United came through and paid 95% of the charges but 100% of the hospital bill. They shorted me $4,600 because the hospital overcharged me. Meaning the invoices added up to more than what they ran my card. Hospital is a bunch of thieves, so now I have to see if hospital will refund me overage or open a new dispute with B of A for the overage. Thank you all for the advice. Life lessons have added to the list. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, like, comment, share and subscribe.